Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 102, How to Stop Drinking After Your Planned Amount. Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? Things are going fantastic here. It's a cold, blistery Monday as I'm recording this podcast, and it's starting to get darker. And I want to turn on my Christmas lights sooner and wrap up in my heated blanket and drink tea. But there's work to be done, y'all. I need to help you all stop over drinking. And I'm really excited about this week's podcast because for most of my clients, they want to be somebody that just has a glass or two of wine or a cocktail or two without overdoing it. Their ultimate goal is to just maybe drink a couple times a month, special occasions, maybe going out to dinner or maybe just on a Friday night at home. But they don't want to be obsessing about it, thinking about it. And then when they do have their planned drinks, they definitely don't want to overdo it. And usually, we do this work together and they make really amazing success. And if they do overdrink, it's significantly less than they have in the past. So it might be 3 drinks versus 7 drinks is an overdrink for them after they've done the work inside the program. And so really fine-tuning it into understanding why they're continuing to overdrink while they've had their planned drinks. So say you've wanted to have 1 or 2. You have 2 on your drink plan and you're having that second drink, but you're, most of the times you're probably pouring a third, or you're having a half a glass more, or you really want more and your brain's, chattering, right? Or you might go get some snacks instead of having that extra glass of wine. So doing the work to figure out how you can stop at your 2 or whatever number you've planned ahead is some work. And so this podcast episode, I'm going to dive in on how to stop drinking after your planned amount. And the first part of that is examining your own thoughts about your capabilities to do that. And often we want to think it's easier to just not drink than it is to stick to your planned drinks. I want to tell you that that's just a thought that does not serve you if you actually do want to be somebody who drinks but doesn't overdrink. Okay? So if that's your ultimate goal, don't think that it's easier to just not drink, right? Because that doesn't give you the power and the freedom and the confidence to have an occasional glass of wine, right? So when you think that way and then you take a break and you don't solve and figure out what's going on after you've had a couple drinks, then you never figure that out and you just kind of stay stuck in that loop. So let's look at it in the thought model, the think, feel, do, act model. Okay, so if the thought is, it's easier to just not drink than to stick to my planned amount, you might feel frustrated. And as you know, feelings drive your actions by now. Okay, so when you feel frustrated, the things that you do is probably, I'm not going to drink this week. I just can't seem to figure this out. Whenever I drink, I overdrink, right? So you might plan no drinks. And then also the action or inaction that you're doing from that place is you're not learning how to process those urges or desires for more after you've had your set number of drinks. And you don't uncover the thoughts that happen after you've had those drinks. And then you don't do that work. And so the next time you drink, you overdrink. Okay? So that thought for most of you doesn't help. Okay? It might be helpful for some of you, but for most of you, this thought causes frustration or worry or just a low level feeling that doesn't feel good. And then from that place, it's not driving the actions that you need to take to figure out how you can stop at your planned number. So you want to be someone who still enjoys drinks but doesn't overdrink, right? So if that's your goal, this is a really good episode for you. This thought that you might be having blocks you from becoming that person. So the big work here is uncovering why you want to drink more than you planned. Whys come down to what thoughts and feelings we have. It's not necessarily about the alcohol. It's about what you are thinking after you've had it that leads you to drinking more of it. And this can be difficult, a little bit more difficult than food because of the effect of alcohol on the brain. Not only is your dopamine up, your decision-making capabilities are impaired, and it's harder to access the higher part of your brain from the place of having alcohol on board. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible, okay? A lot of my clients are able to do this, and I was able to do this myself as well, okay? You get to decide that you can do it or you can't. And I wouldn't recommend you ever say you can't do something, okay? We don't say that here. Say, I choose not to. That's much more powerful, okay? So if you really want to be someone who still enjoys drinks, then you must manage your brain around your capabilities to do it. So you first want to uncover what you currently think about your capabilities to be that person that stops at 1 or 2 or whatever number they've planned. And so you want to answer this question, and you can grab your journal or a notebook or make a note in your phone, but you want to answer this question. What do I think about my ability to stop after I've had my planned amount? And then listen to what your brain has to say there. Okay, write those thoughts down. And then you want to do some self-coaching here. You want to plug a few of those thoughts that came up for you into the think, feel, act model, okay? Don't get hung up on the full model here. Just when you think that thought, how do you feel? And write this down in your journal. And then when you feel that way, what do? Run a couple models on those thoughts that come up and see if those actions that will come after you have those thoughts will help you become somebody that doesn't overdrink after you've had a couple, okay? And if they don't, you can change your thoughts, right? You can decide what you want to think that will help you achieve your goal of stopping after you've had your planned drinks. And so do some exploration there in your journal as well. Write down, what can I think that will help me stop drinking after I've had a couple? What do I need to start thinking now so that the next time I have a drink or 2 that have been planned in advance, that'll make it easier to stop? Ask your brain those types of questions. Those types of questions, when you ask it to your brain, will give you high quality answers. Your brain is an amazing tool. And so when you learn how to ask it questions that will give you the answers that you want to achieve your goals, you tap into a very magical thing. Okay? Like, instead of saying, why can't I stop? You say, what can I do to stop? Does that make sense? The same type of exploration, the same type of questions are high quality questions you want to ask yourself. All right? So the next part of this is actually doing the work. All right, y'all, you all have to stop listening. If you're just a passive podcast listener, you have to stop listening and actually apply what I'm teaching here. So when I say stop and write things down, stop and answer a question in your journal, if you do that work, you will get results. All right? So doing the work here is very important. If you want to be somebody that stops over drinking and still maintains a relationship with alcohol, that drinks occasionally, you have to be willing to do the work to figure out why you are drinking more. Okay, so you have to be, if you're in my program, you need to be doing an assessment. You need to be asking yourself what happened, what went well, and what am I going to do differently next time. Okay? And the other worksheets, the tedious powerful worksheets, while you're having your planned drinks, right? Getting coaching on this. If you overdrink and you can't figure out why, volunteer for coaching, post in a Facebook group, talk to somebody about it, right? Doing the work is actually doing the work. Writing, getting coaching, evaluating, and managing your mind. All right. So if you want to be free from that incessant chatter and over desire for more drinks than you have planned, then you have to do the work. That's not going to just magically happen by creating a drink plan. Okay. The real gold is in discovering your thoughts in the moment after you've had your planned amount. I'm going to repeat that. The real gold, the real value in uncovering why you're drinking more than your planned amount is discovering your thoughts that you have in the moment after you've had your set amount of drinks. All right? So you want to stay conscious and aware of that. Some thoughts you might recognize are, one more won't hurt. Who cares? I don't care if I'm tired tomorrow. I don't have to wake up early. I've been so good this week. I deserve this. I don't want to be disappointing or boring. Fuck it. Just a half a glass more. I lost a lot of weight this week. I can afford it. I'll do better tomorrow. I won't drink tomorrow. Okay? So those are the thoughts that are probably coming up after you've had a couple of glasses. And you're kind of conscious of like, that's it. That's all we've planned. And then your brain wants to throw a little fit. This is some very common thoughts that your brain is probably going to deliver to you. So what you want to do now is see the impact of these thoughts in your brain. The thought, one more won't hurt, creates the feeling of apathy, right? And from that feeling, you just continue drinking because you don't care, right? Maybe you eat, maybe you ignore your plan, you negotiate yourself. And then this creates a result for you hurting you and not honoring what you really want, right? That thought, one more won't hurt, creates a result of you hurting yourself and not honoring what you really want. It slows down your pathway to success. It reduces your confidence in yourself and can cause more buffering, more drinking, more eating in the future, i.e. hurting you. All right, so this thought, one more won't hurt, actually creates a result for you in your life of you hurting yourself. Okay, it's a lie. It's just a lie that your brain is telling you because it doesn't care about your future. That part of your brain, that primitive part of your brain that wants what it wants in the moment, that's only motivation is to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and save energy, is going to deliver you these types of thoughts. And if you really look at these types of thoughts and you plug them into the thought model, the think, feel, do thought model, you will see that this is going to create a result for you that you will not like. It will keep you stuck where you are. And it's not true. One more won't hurt actually has a bigger impact on your life. It creates a result for you of you hurting, right? Not feeling good in the morning, not making progress towards your goals, not honoring your commitments. You reduce your confidence in your ability to do this if you follow through with that thought, if you let that thought drive your actions of drinking, okay? So before you start drinking your planned drinks, you want to grab a notebook, a journal, a sticky note, or open up the Notes app in your phone, and you tell yourself that you will document what is happening in your brain while you are about to finish your last planned drink. What is your brain saying about being done drinking now? You got to document those thoughts. Do not skip this. You will not be able to remember as clearly tomorrow or after you've had your drinks as you can right in the moment, even when you have alcohol on board. So finish your planned drink, write down all the thoughts about it, all the little thoughts that your brain wants to tell you, and notice how you are feeling. You might be feeling a high urge to have more. You might feel this pull to go pour another glass of wine, right? Or you might feel agitated or frustrated. You want to process that feeling that you have in that moment. Remember the 3 steps of processing a feeling. The first step, locate where in your body you are carrying that feeling. Where do you feel that tension of that frustration or that desire? Where is it in your body? Locate it. Describe it. Is it a tightness? Is there heat? Is there an edginess to it? Step 2, take a deep breath in and expand your chest, focusing your breath on where you feel that vibration in your body. And step 3, exhale and focus your breath into the place you notice that feeling. You want to expand your breath around this area in your body and give it some space to be felt and processed. And you relax your muscles around that area. And then you just repeat those steps until you notice that that feeling has dissipated or it's less intense. And you stop thinking about the alcohol or you wanting more drinks or how you can't have them. And you go into your body and you process that feeling for more. And then you remind yourself, you are not drinking in response to these feelings or thoughts. We're not doing that. We are unwiring our desire for this in this very moment. And remind yourself, more drinks aren't going to make you feel any better. And you are practicing being uncomfortable right now because it serves a purpose to reduce your desire to drink more. Okay? Listen, there is a purpose for you to feel these feelings, right? Like, just like you've done some work already to reduce how much you're drinking or not drinking. Like you've gotten through urges to not drink on some days. Okay, it's this, and you do the same work. You allow yourself to be uncomfortable. You allow yourself to process and feel those urges and stop thinking. You go into your body to process and feel. It's the same thing after you've had alcohol on board. You recognize the thoughts that you're having, jot them down, and then you process that feeling. And when you do that and you don't respond and don't reward with alcohol, your desire levels go down. So the next time you have your planned drinks, your brain's going to have a less of a freak out, right? Because it knows that it may not have a reward on it yet. So it's going to be easier and easier over time the more you practice this, okay? The next part of the next thing I want to talk about is what to do if you drink more than you planned. Now, I don't want you guys to freak out and think, well, ahead of time, well, Angela says to have a strategy to, what to do if I drink more than I plan, so it's okay. That is not what I'm talking about here. I am not giving you like a little window to like make an excuse to overdrink at all. But I think it's helpful for you to have a strategy to have on board, like a plan to have on board when you do overdrink. Because if you haven't been successful in sticking to your planned drinks, then I would expect that you're probably going to have some more overdrinks in your future, right? Like that's just being realistic. And when you're learning how to do this and you have alcohol on board, it's a good idea and to have a strategy for how you want to handle that, right? Like we need to approach this as if it was like a work project or we're building a house or something. This is no different. We want to have strategies for obstacles. An obstacle for you to overcome is overdrinking. So if you do overdrink and you don't stick to your plan, how you handle that can make all the difference in your growth and progress to become somebody that only has a couple without wanting more or having a big deal about it, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is not beat yourself up if you overdrink. Okay, you guys know how your thoughts create your feelings, right? And feelings drive our actions. So if you're thinking that you suck and why can't you ever do anything right and you're never going to learn how to do this and you're really hard on yourself, you're not going to feel good. And you're going to want to escape that feeling with more alcohol or food. Okay, so first, decide that you won't beat yourself up. You know that that doesn't help you. You know this because if it did help you, you wouldn't be over drinking anymore. Okay, so decide ahead of time what you want to think if you do drink more than you're planned and write that thought down somewhere. Okay, thoughts could be like, I'm going to figure this out, or I'm going to go do an evaluation, or, ooh, I wonder what happened there. I wonder what thoughts I was having in the moment when I wanted more. I wonder what feeling I wasn't willing to sit with. Approach it from curiosity. Okay, so write down the thought that you want to have if you do have an overdrink that will open yourself up to doing the evaluation and being curious about it. Okay, the second part of what to do if you drink more than you planned is you must do an evaluation. You must figure out what was going on in that brain of yours. So if you did document it, like I suggest, you have some of that written down that you can go back and look at, but you need to do that work if you didn't write it down. So you want to ask yourself 3 questions. What worked? And answer the question. So I had a plan. I was noticing my thoughts and feelings. I communicated my goals, or I told my spouse or whoever I'm with that I'm having this number of drinks. I journaled that day, write down all the things that you did to support that. The second question is, what didn't work? So you want to identify which thoughts that you had in the moment that you were having those drinks that you listened to, and what feelings that you chose to be at the effect of. All right, and you want to document there, and that's the what didn't work. Okay, that's on you, by the way. That is not on somebody else. Like you can't put, well, my husband brought home pizza, or my favorite bottle of wine, or our plans got changed at the last minute. No, you are responsible for how much you drink or don't drink always. So it always comes down to your own thoughts and feelings. So that is what goes under what didn't work. The third question is, what can I do differently next time? And you answer that question. So when you notice the thoughts that come up, like I helped you see some of those repetitive thoughts that might come up, like screw it, it doesn't matter, I deserve it, blah, blah, blah. You have a alternative thought that you can think. And you've seen how the impact of those thoughts create a result for you, right, with this overdrink. So you can have a plan to think, well, I can notice those thoughts and this is what I want to think instead. And I'm going to feel and process my urges. Create a strategy there and what I'm going to do differently next time. And when you do this work, when you unveil all of this and put this all out on paper, it just keeps you more conscious so that when you're in this situation next time, you will be able to, it'll be more forefront of mind and you'll be able to see it more clearly and you'll be able to make better decisions from doing this work. Okay? The next part about it is you need to move on. After you've done that assessment, you've managed your mind around it, you have your strategy for next time, you have to move on and just keep going, okay? Remember, you are learning how to not overdrink. It's a process. It will take some time. It's going to take some trial and error and exploration for you to figure this out. It's not going to happen overnight, okay? Keep your eye on the prize, my friends, your image, that image of you that you have in the future that doesn't overdrink. Believe that it is possible. Do your daily thought and feelings exercises and keep going. Keep writing your goals out. You've learned some invaluable information from this overdrink. Don't leave money on the table. Use it to help you. Okay? Turn a failure into an opportunity. All right? Another good question to come back is, how is this serving me? How can I learn from this? How did I have to have this overdrink for me to be able to move forward and learn something here? Okay? So that's what to do if you drink more than you planned. All right? That's what I have for you today, my friends. I love you all so much. Do the work. This is the work. This is the meat of unwiring that desire for more than the drinks that you had planned. If you do this, I promise you'll be successful. And this is what I help my clients do all day long in my Stop Overdrinking and Start Living program. So if you're interested in joining that, click the link below, watch the 3 videos, spend some time there, read through all the information, and get your applications in. Prices are going up in 2021, and there's absolutely not one good reason I can think of to wait if you want to dig into this work. I am definitely the best coach for you. You know that. You've been following along. Take the next step. Okay? Get your applications in, and I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful week, my friends. Bye.